In this video, we're going to discuss how do we identify the attributes of a linear function from its graph. So in class, we learned that a line is basically a function where we have a constant rate of change. So the very first thing that we're looking for in a linear function is what is that rate of change, since it's constant everywhere. One of the things that we're looking at is how much is going up by how much it's going across, because that is telling us what the rate of change is. So we're going to call this the ROC, or the rate of change. Another word that we can use for this is slope. And another word that I can use for this is steepness. And so again, we're finding how much it's changing by. So how much is it going up by? How much is it going across by? So we call this rise over run. So let's count up how much it's rising. It's rising up 2 in this case, and going over 3. So the rate of change throughout this line is 2 over 3. So notice that if I take any 2 points, it's also going up 2 over 3. Now if I decide to take these 2 points, these 2 points are going up 4 over 6, but up 4 over 6 also simplifies to 2 over 3. So regardless of any 2 points you pick on this graph, the nice thing about a line is that the rate of change is constant. It is the same. Now, so this is obviously a very important part of the graph and what we are going to be focusing a lot, but there are 2 other points that are also important in this graph. So these 2 points are, well, this point right here is the point where the line hits the y-axis. So this is called a y-intercept. And again, it is a coordinate. So we are going to go ahead and write it as a coordinate. It is the point 0, comma, in this case, 2. So notice that the x is always 0 at the y-intercept. That's what makes it a y-intercept. Now, this point right here is obviously where the line hits the x-axis, and it's called an x-intercept. Another word that we can use to describe this as well is 0. How do we calculate slope? Well, like we said right here, just go ahead and fill that in. It is the rise over the run. So we talked about that at first. And now let's try it again with another graph. So this graph is obviously it's going down, so it has a negative rate of change. So we want to make sure we keep that negative when we're calculating the slope. So remember, I can call this the rate of change of the graph. I can call it the slope, or the steepness. And in this case, my slope here, it goes down 1, 2, 3, 4. So it goes down 4 minus 4 over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's negative 4/5. And again, if you take these 2 points as well, you would notice that this is also negative 4 over 5. And so it's constant. My y-intercept is right here. And the y-intercept in this case is 0, comma, 4. And this right here is called the x-intercept, or another word that I can use for that is the 0. And in this case, my 0 here is 5, comma, 0. So it is, again, it's the x-intercept, the value of x when y is 0. Okay, so now that we have those 3 important parts known, let's go in depth a little bit more about slope. So notice here's this slope. Let's kind of calculate it. It's obviously it's going up, so it's going up 2 over 3, so positive 2 over 3. This graph right here is going down down 3 over 4, so negative 3 over 4. Now these two are a little bit special because notice that this line is just going straight. It's a horizontal line. Now, my rise here is 0. It's not going up at all. The run really depends on what 2 points you pick. If I pick these two, my run is 1. 0 divided by 1 is the number 0. So a horizontal line has a slope of 0. Now, a vertical line, the rise, well, it depends what 2 points you pick. If I pick these 2 points, the rise here is 2. It doesn't have a run, so the run is 0. You cannot divide anything by 0, so I would say that the slope here is undefined. And actually, if we look back at what makes something a line, this is the only type of line that is not a function, because the x repeats. The x is always repeating. X is always the same. So I just wanted to talk about the 4 types of slopes. So if it looks like it's going up from left to right, it's obviously positive. Let me make that a little bit more clear from here. Here it's negative if it's going down from left to right. If it is a horizontal line, then it is going to be a 0 slope, and if it is a vertical line, it's going to be undefined. So one of the ways that is easy for students to kind of understand this is Mr. Slope Guy. So right here, his eyes, his eyebrow here that's going up, it's positive. His eyebrow here that's going down, it's negative. His nose here has a vertical line, is undefined. So go ahead and put undefined. And his mouth here, this kind of looks like a little clown, right? Is a horizontal line, is 0. All right, so I hope that that helps you sort of remember which type of slope is which.